So the building that we currently find ourselves in is a building that was commissioned in 1977 for Festac. It was a building that was set to really celebrate the developing nature of African creativity and culture. It's a very, very, very special building that is rooted in history, moments, and design, as you can see by the architecture. My name is Richard Vedelago. I'm the founder and curator at Windsor Gallery, and also the founder and curator at Nahous. Nahous is a multidisciplinary space that was envisaged to house multiple disciplines in the artistic landscape, with an emphasis of design, art, fashion, gastronomy, and photography. Sort of having discovered the space, it was my first time actually to have entered the space, and seeing what the space represented and what was here was a really interesting opportunity for me to bring the space back to life and to develop it in a space which could house creativity in a way that the original sort of benchmark was set to develop that as a conversation. The space itself, as you can see, is steeped in beautiful architecture. And so for me, the opportunity here to create this creative landscape that today could reunite a conversation across these multiple disciplines and get people to experience African creativity under one roof was really the overriding challenge and the attraction to this project. The space itself allowed me to stay true to the building. So a lot of the materials that you see today, whether it's the marble inlays, the POP ceilings, these were already originally here. So it just allowed me to actually just change the perspective through the color referencing that we're currently seeing. I wanted to create something that was quite pop arty in the sense, but also played an homage and an ode to the moment, which I think today, when we think about sort of African sort of color palettes and designs, they're quite sort of textural, and even in our fabric, they're quite loud, quite colorful. But I wanted to really work on block patterns, which I think really creates and open up the space in a way that is somewhat different to what we see across sort of African spaces. Nahous is split into multiple spaces. The idea that we had was to really promote each different practice in a unique way. So of course we have the design space, which was developed to create conversation around where we are within our sort of furniture design making, unique pieces that different designers may have conceptualized, and of course also a conversation around architecture. Architecture today, I think, is a very, very important sort of sector for us to address, in the sense that this is what our current architects are currently leading the charge in, rethinking our cities and rethinking our aesthetics. So being able to really promote that and get architects to come into a space, a creative space, to have conversations, feel inspired in a totally different way, I think was a very important sort of sector for us to really engage with. Then we move to the fashion area. Again, a curated space that brings the best of African creativity to the forefront through fashion designs, which again today is something that we're now seeing take hold. After Afrobeats, fashion is also one of the most researched sort of elements that we're now seeing. So the space currently houses 7 different artists. That will rotate on a 6-week programming sort of calendar. So every 6 weeks, we're looking to have 7 brand new designers that will showcase their talent and will allow for people to further the conversation around African creativity and fashion design. Photography, again, a key area that is massively undervalued here in Africa. But again, it's important to understand that photography captures the moment. It's not something that goes even deeper than that. It's a moment, it's a reference, it's a step back to look through the lens of somebody else and see the beauty of our continent and the moments that these artists are able to capture through their lenses and really bring that to life through the selection of photography that also sort of embeds with the curatorial elements that we're trying to push as a conversation. Gastronomy, I have the utmost pleasure of being able to develop that and work side by side with one of our culinary greats, Chef Eros, the billionaire chef, who we've worked together to curate a wonderful gastronomic experience here at Nahous. Everything from Bar 77 to Apartment 90 to Nkane, which is our suya and grills spot that will be launching, imminently. These all look to reinvent, re-elevate, and represent Nigerian and African cuisine in a totally different way. So that in itself is artistry in its own sort of special and unique way. And then of course, the heartbeat of the project, which is the artistic side. Artistic side through sculpture, installation, mixed media and painting. This space allows us to really start conversations across the multiple sort of aspects that we're now seeing and the interest that we're now seeing in African contemporary art. This space is supposed to evoke possibilities, it's supposed to inspire, and also it's supposed to educate in a way that we haven't seen before. So being able to encompass all these different practices under one roof to really push the notion of what African creativity looks like today is the fundamental goal here at Nahous. The space was quite complicated to sort of manage and to refurbish. I mean, when we think about sort of the color gradients that we were using to sort of beautify the space, I think that's one of the things that I think stands out ultimately. But at the same time, even the use of sort of the lighting, the key elements that we were able to bring to sort of modernize the space, the central chandelier that we brought in, things that we wanted to keep sort of authentic, but at the same time, we wanted to sort of bring as a space that was modern, that felt current to the current zeitgeist, and allowed us to sort of not feel that it was something that we tried to manipulate or tried to change, but something that felt authentic. So I think one of the essences of this project is the fact that we were able to do it. The essence of putting your mind to something. I mean, it took us 3.5 months to refurbish the space, which I think that in itself is an achievement. But I think more importantly was to be daring, to really, really think bigger picture, think about it long term. This is, I think, an opportunity for us to reawaken certain aspects of ourselves, to feel a sense of history, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, and ultimately a sense that the best is yet to come. And if we're able to revitalize these spaces and bring them back, there are 1,000,001 spaces like this all across Nigeria that I think that with the right approach, the right vision, the right execution, we can turn these into cultural institutions that really promote our culture in a way that we've never seen before.